What's the link between Jacobites, the American Revolution and the Church of England? Well, today I'm going to show you. And to do it, I'm taking you to the heart of Scotland's capital, Edinburgh. If you're interested in the people, places and events in Scottish history, then click the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen. And if you enjoy this video, then give it a thumbs up, share it and watch the next one. In the meantime, let me tell you a story. Our story starts smack bang in the middle of the 18th century Jacobite period. And for its focus, I've come to what I think must be the most Jacobite of all churches in Scotland. But the story doesn't start here, it starts in America. I say in America, but not the United States of America. In 1729, they hadn't started their rebellion. This was the English colony of Connecticut. It was on November the 30th, 1729, that a baby called Samuel Seabury was born in Groton, Connecticut. He grew up under his pious father in a devout Anglican family. As a young man, Samuel answered the call of faith and knowledge by informal study of theology with his dad and formal study at Yale, where he graduated in 1748. But he wanted to study some medicine. Now, in the 18th century, there was only one place to study medicine. So, in 1752, at the age of 22, he enrolled in the medical school at the University of Edinburgh. Now, think about what Edinburgh would have been like in 1752. There was no new town. That wouldn't start for another 15 years. There was no North Bridge. Culloden was only 6 years ago. Bonnie Prince Charlie was still alive and Jacobitism wasn't yet entirely dead. 1752 saw Alexander Murray attempt the Elibank plot to kidnap George II and his family from the St James Palace, transport them to France and restore the Stuart dynasty. Here in Edinburgh, Episcopalians, who'd been the big Jacobite supporters in Scotland, were still facing heavy persecution and they had to meet in secret. Now, as a devotee of the Church of England, Samuel was Episcopalian. So naturally, he came here to St Paul's. Now, it wasn't quite this building back then. Most Scottish Episcopalian priests were still refusing to swear the oath of allegiance to the Hanoverian monarchs, so they paid a severe penalty if they held a service for more than 5 people. Episcopalian worship was forced underground. It's a bit like smoking ganja in the 80s. Technically, you weren't supposed to, but everyone knew it went on. The priests said that they were burning incense, but we know what they were really up to. Now, the home of this low-key clandestine congregation was a tiny chapel and a converted wool loft in what's now that corner of the church. They tell me that back then the altar was a wooden flat pack that could fold up and be planked at a moment's notice, just in case the drug squad staged a bust. This is where Samuel worshipped secretly, soaking up the Scottish Episcopalians' high church liturgy. Now, I'm going to come back to that idea, but liturgy is a whole ceremonial and prayer style. Apparently, at the Reformation, the Church of England had cut bits out and gone a bit lowbrow. But the Episcopal Church in Scotland kept all its formality and ritual. Although, I believe their services are even more florid these days. A nice description of the time was that the Scottish Episcopal liturgy was like a rural village that kept traditional customs, whereas the Church of England had moved to the city, pared down, and lost some of its charm. Samuel finished his studies in Edinburgh and then travelled down to that big city of London. On December the 23rd, 1753, in London's Fulham Palace, Samuel Seabury was ordained an Anglican priest by the Bishop of Carlisle. Now it was time to go home. What he couldn't have known when he set off was that, having just missed an uprising against Hanoverian George II here, he was soon to see rebellion against George III on the other side of the Atlantic. Back in America, Seabury started his ministry. Serving in various parishes, he became a respected Anglican priest. But the arrival of the 1770s brought controversy and division. Now, let me generalise and say that as the rebellion approached, Anglicans or Scottish Episcopalians were more likely to support the Crown. Presbyterians supported the rebels. Now, I know that's a gross oversimplification, but my point is that the Reverend Samuel Seabury remained staunchly loyal. He even wrote pamphlets arguing against the revolutionary cause. By 1783, when the rebels came out on top, it caused problems for Samuel and those like him. A lot of Anglican priests fled north for safety in Canada or back to England. But Samuel Seabury decided to stick it out. It may not have been the outcome that he sought, but this was his home. But for Anglicans, there was another problem with American independence. The Church of England in America had effectively been cut off. They had no bishops. They had no knights, kings or castles either. Just a bunch of pawns and queens. Now, if you were brought up Presbyterian like me, you're probably thinking, what's the problem? Well, the problem is apostolic succession. I know, I had to look it up as well. Okay, so if you're Anglican or Roman Catholic, church hierarchy is based on bishops and priests. A priest has to be ordained by a bishop. The bishop was consecrated by a previous bishop, who was consecrated by a bishop, who was consecrated by a bishop. That goes all the way back to the Apostle Peter, the disciple of Christ and the first pope and the rock on which the church was built. This is the apostolic succession. So the Episcopal Church in this new country of the United States of America had no bishops to appoint new priests and bishops to continue that apostolic succession. And so, on March the 25th, 1783, a group of Connecticut Episcopal clergy met secretly in a town called Woodbury. There, they decided that Samuel Seabury should be their first bishop. Well, they'd actually asked somebody else first. But taking the job meant a perilous sea mission going to England to be ordained, and the first guy turned them down. But Samuel accepted the call. And he took on that perilous mission to seek consecration as a bishop. But this task was going to be a bigger challenge than you might think. You see, when he got to England and asked to be consecrated as a bishop for Connecticut and the yet unformed American church, he was going to the established Church of England. It was the official state church. If he wanted to be consecrated as a bishop by the Church of England, then he'd need to swear an oath of allegiance to the king. Now, on a personal level, he probably didn't mind that. But you can imagine arriving home to the newly formed United States of America to tell him, aye, that's me consecrated. I just had to swear an oath of allegiance to the king. Sorry? I didn't catch that, Sammy. What was that you said? I'm just saying I'm consecrated. I just needed to swear an oath of allegiance to the king. There's no way that was good. He would never get away with that. So, after lots of toing and froing with the Church of England, when neither side prepared to budge, he realised the obvious solution. There is an Episcopal Church where he could be consecrated and maintain the apostolic succession. He'd attended that church when he studied medicine at Edinburgh University. A church that's not the established church of the nation, because that nation-state church was Presbyterian. What's more, this Episcopalian church would not only not require an oath to the king, but as raving Jacobites, they'd probably be delighted to make part of the consecration service a pledge to tell the Hanoverians to get it right up ye. And so Samuel Seabury came north. But he didn't come here to Edinburgh. That was a wee bit too close for prying government eyes. Plus, the Scottish Episcopal Church's senior bishop was Robert Kilgour, Bishop of Aberdeen. Samuel was to be consecrated by 3 Scottish bishops: the Right Reverend Robert Kilgour, Bishop of Aberdeen, the Right Reverend Arthur Petrie, Bishop of Murray and Ross, and the Right Reverend John Skinner, Bishop Coadjutor of Aberdeen. They were all non-juring clergymen who'd survived the Jacobite purges. Now, by non-juring, I mean that just like Seagrave, they refused to swear an oath to the Hanoverian king. The ceremony was held in a tiny private chapel in the home of Bishop John Skinner. It was a profound moment in a candlelit room. An American priest, who was once a subject of King George, kneeled as 3 Jacobite sympathising Scottish prelates, who still refused to pay allegiance to that same king, placed their hands on his head, inducing the Holy Spirit and making him a bishop. They had made one condition. The Scots were happy for the apostolic succession to pass through them, but they also wanted to pass those elaborate Scottish rites and communion liturgy. That's why, to this day, they tell me that the liturgy of American Episcopal Church still contains Scottish rather than Anglican tradition. Now, I'm no expert, so feel free to correct me in the comments. Consecration done and commitments made, Seabury set off back across the ocean as a bishop, America's first Episcopalian bishop. The Anglican apostolic succession crossed the Atlantic, not from England, but from Scotland. Scotland had given the gift of something that without a bishop had been impossible. Back in Connecticut, Bishop Seabury put his gift to use. Confirmations and ordinations could happen for the first time on American soil. Bishop Seabury made the seat of his diocese New London, Connecticut, and as promised, introduced a Scottish-influenced liturgy. He died in 1796, but the gift lived on. In time, other bishops would be consecrated in England, but every Episcopal bishop in America today traces a line of succession back to that moment in Aberdeen where the American Episcopal Church secured continuity and independence as a self-governing member of the Anglican Communion. Scotland is the mother church of American Episcopalians. Of course, this was the first time an Anglican church anywhere outside the British Isles had had its bishop independent of English authority. The foundation of the worldwide Anglican Communion was in Aberdeen, because Scots invented everything, even the Anglican Church. It's fitting that here in Edinburgh's old St Paul's Church, where the young Seabury once prayed, its Lady Chapel is dedicated to his memory, with its stained glass windows depicting the laying on of hands in 1784. If you're visiting Scotland from the US, the doors here are open every day. It's just one of the many places in Scotland that are worth a visit. Better still, why not come with me on one of my group or individual tours? My 11-day big birthday tour runs in September. I'll show you all my favourite places, from Hadrian's Wall to the Isle of Skye, with great chat and wonderful hotels along the way. Just click the link top right or in the description below, or email alexis@scotlandhistorytours.co.uk. Now, there are many more connections between Scotland, Jacobites and the Americas, and there's a video about another of them coming up on screen now. If you enjoyed this video, then like it, share it and watch the next one. Support the channel by clicking top right to become a Patreon member, or buy me a coffee in the description below. In the meantime, ha mynd ochus gwn bi lamali. Cheerio and rasta.